She's 20 years old. She just won Olympic gold. And tonight, she walked into the Met Gala wearing a custom Louis Vuitton gown and looked like she owned the entire room. Alysa Liu is not your typical figure skater. She never has been. And if you've been sleeping on her, trust me, after tonight, the whole world is wide awake. Let's talk about what actually happened at the Met Gala. Because this wasn't just a celebrity showing up in a pretty dress. This was a statement. This was a 20-year-old athlete telling the fashion world, I'm here. I'm staying. And I'm doing this entirely on my own terms. The dress was custom Louis Vuitton, designed by Nicolas Gasquet himself. Scarlet red, billowing, dramatic. But here's the thing. It wasn't the dress that made the moment. It was how she wore it with her signature striped hair, her smiley piercing, that energy she carries that feels like nothing you've ever seen on a red carpet before. Fashion editors are calling her a punk rock princess. And honestly, that's the most accurate description I've ever heard. But let's rewind a little because to understand why tonight is such a big deal, you have to understand who Alysa Liu actually is and where she came from. She's been skating since she was a little kid. She became the youngest US figure skating champion in history. Then she stepped away. She came back. She competed at the highest level on the global stage. And she didn't just compete. She dominated Olympic gold. The whole thing. And she did it while being completely unapologetically herself. That's rare. That is genuinely rare because the world of elite figure skating, like a lot of elite sports, can be incredibly rigid. There are expectations about how you look, how you carry yourself, what you say in interviews, how you present your image. And Alysa Liu has spent her entire career quietly, confidently breaking every single one of those expectations. And now fashion is paying attention. Earlier on the same day as the Met Gala, Louis Vuitton officially announced that Alysa Liu is their newest house ambassador. Let that sink in for a second. One of the most prestigious luxury fashion houses in the world looked at this 20-year-old figure skater from the Bay Area and said, yes, she is exactly who we want representing us. That is not a small thing. That is a massive career-defining moment. And the partnership makes complete sense when you understand her personal style because Alysa Liu does not dress like a typical athlete-turned-celebrity. She doesn't play it safe. She doesn't hire a stylist and just show up in whatever's handed to her. She has a genuine point of view. She gravitates toward baggy silhouettes, layering, mixing things that aren't supposed to go together, and making it look effortless. She's described her style as being deeply shaped by growing up in the Bay Area. And if you know Bay Area culture, you know it's got this incredible mix of laid-back, cool, and fearless individuality. That's exactly what you see when you look at her. In March, just a few months ago, she attended her very first Paris Fashion Week show, sitting front row at Louis Vuitton. And when she talked about it, she said something that was so genuinely refreshing to hear from someone in her position. She said she had no idea how fashion shows even worked. She was just excited to witness it, to see the looks, to be in the room. There was no performance of confidence, no pretending she's been doing this forever, just pure honest curiosity. And that authenticity, that's exactly why people are drawn to her. She picked her own look for that Paris show after her very first fitting with the house. First fitting, first show, front row. That's how fast this has all moved. Now, let's talk about tonight's theme because it's actually really relevant to why Alysa Liu fits this moment so perfectly. The 2026 Met Gala dress code is Fashion is Art. It's tied to the Costume Institute's exhibition called Costume Art, which explores the deeper relationship between clothing and the human body. The whole idea is about individuality, about expression, about using what you wear as a form of art rather than just a social obligation or a status symbol. And if you look at Alysa Liu's entire relationship with her appearance, from the striped hair that became iconic during the Olympics to the smiley piercing she got and spoke openly about to the way she puts together an outfit, it all lines up perfectly with that theme. She's not dressing to fit in. She's dressing to express something. There's a real artistic intention behind every choice she makes, even when those choices look effortless. That smiley piercing, by the way, got so much attention during the Olympics. People were fascinated by it. And the reason it resonated so much is because it felt like such a deliberate choice. You don't get a frenulum piercing by accident. You don't keep it when you're competing on the world's biggest stage by accident. It was her way of saying, this is who I am, even here, even now, even under all this pressure and scrutiny. That's a level of self-possession that most people spend decades trying to develop. She's had it at 20. And that brings us to probably the most important thing about Alysa Liu that explains everything. Her philosophy around making decisions. She's been very open about the fact that she thinks about her choices through a simple filter. If it's not a genuine enthusiastic yes, It's a no. That's it. No overthinking, no people-pleasing, no saying yes to things because you feel like you're supposed to. If the answer isn't a full-body absolute yes, she walks away. Think about how radical that is for a young athlete who's been in a highly competitive, highly structured, highly judgmental sport her entire life. The pressure to say yes to everything, to every opportunity, every brand, every appearance request, every expectation placed on you is enormous. And she's basically said, no, I'm only doing things that genuinely feel like me. I'm only making choices I actually believe in. That's why the Louis Vuitton partnership feels authentic rather than transactional. That's why her Met Gala appearance feels like a natural next step rather than a calculated PR move, because she's not collecting brand deals and red carpet moments for the sake of building a celebrity profile. She's doing the things that actually resonate with who she is, and everything else is a no. And the fashion industry, which can smell inauthenticity from about 1,000 miles away, has noticed. When someone walks into a room and they are just completely genuinely themselves, it reads differently. It lands differently. You can't manufacture that quality. You can't hire a team of people to create it. You either have it or you don't. Alysa Liu has it. What's also worth paying attention to is how she's thinking about this chapter of her life more broadly. She's been very clear that she wants to define success on her own terms, not by external metrics, not by what other people think a post-Olympic athlete is supposed to do, not by following the typical script. She's navigating a new level of visibility, the kind that comes after an Olympic gold medal, after a major fashion house ambassador deal, after a Met Gala debut. And she's doing it while staying grounded in her own sense of self. That's actually incredibly hard to do. The pressure that comes with this level of attention can completely reshape a person. We've seen it happen over and over again with young athletes and celebrities who hit this kind of peak visibility and then spend years trying to find their way back to who they actually are. The ones who manage to hold on to themselves through all of it. They are the ones who build careers that last. And watching Alysa Liu move through this moment, it really feels like she's one of those people. She's not trying to become a fashion icon. She just is one because she refuses to be anything other than herself. She's not trying to cross over into entertainment and media. She's just following her interests and doing the things that feel right. And because of that, everything she touches right now feels genuine and interesting and worth paying attention to. So tonight, when she walked that Met Gala carpet in that scarlet Louis Vuitton gown, billowing and bold and exactly as dramatic as the moment deserved, it wasn't just a beautiful image. It was a 20-year-old who already knows exactly who she is, standing in the middle of one of the fashion world's biggest nights and looking completely at home. Remember this moment because this is just the beginning.